The late 70s, early 80s was a weird time, especially in Americas. It was the height of the Cold War, Jamaica almost unified with Canada, Castro was dodging 5 assassination attempts a day, and Reagan was illegally funding terror groups that are actively selling drugs in the US. Ah, the good old times.
I'm declaring war on anybody who sells drugs in our community.
But Black Dynamite, I sell drugs to the community.
It was in this climate that you had a small Caribbean nation of Grenada. Grenada was a British colony until 1974 when it gained its independence under the trade unionist, ironic, Eric Gairy.
Great Britain didn't give us a single cent when we became independent, and they have mismanaged our economy for 191 years.
Fun fact, it is actually the smallest sovereign nation in the Western Hemisphere. Does that have any relation to the rest of the video? Absolutely not. Welcome to my channel. Now, Eric Gairy, despite sounding like a fake person on a mobile ad, was popular enough to win a legitimate election in 1969. Nice. Under the Grenadian United Labour Party, or GULP for short. By the time independence rolled around, Eric Gairy had become deeply hated in the country, like Elon Musk and Twitter hatred.
Gairy had an unshakable belief in his own leadership and authority. But for the people of Grenada, the strikes, riots and street demonstrations that had disfigured the island from the end of 1973 were an inauspicious prologue to full independence.
Independence was meant to bring economic and political freedoms, but Eric Gairy fashioned himself like a certain South American dictator on the west coast of South America being backed by the US on the west coast of South America, in that he took control of the government, halted all political freedoms, and formed a secret police dubbed the very movie-sounding Mongoose Gang. Like legit something out the fucking Warriors. And these bastards were fucked, beating the shit out of anyone who decided to protest, or just a regular gathering of people. And any political opposition was beaten the absolute crap out of. They're also one of the most trained forces on the island, being armed and trained by Pinochet's attaches, as a nice gift to his friend. Nice. He was also very friendly with Jimmy Carter, pictured together here, which effectively in the eyes of the public made himself a very nice US puppet. As you can tell, this made Gairy extremely loved by the public, and quickly opposition formed against him. As a quick aside, Gairy was actually a judge in a beauty pageant in London before he became the first Prime Minister of Grenada, and there was a pretty large scandal because Miss Grenada won that day, and a black Miss South African won second. This was in the 60s, so you know. And he was also knighted by the Queen. Just weird side adventures of this man's life.
Giving annual speeches at the United Nations about flying saucers, in which he firmly believes.
Anyways, the elections of 1976 weren't too kind to Gairy, narrowly winning the election, getting just over 50% of the vote. And according to the international community, it wasn't the most legal election. The Mongoose Gang was suspected of intimidating participants into voting for GULP, and this did little for Gairy's popularity. Protests broke out more often and was cracked down just as often. The biggest opposition to the New Jewel movement, Jewel standing for the Marxist-Leninist Party had to go underground after being made illegal and heavily cracked down upon. Even its head, Rupert Bishop, was killed in the process. Tensions were rising and the people were conniving. On the fateful day of March 13th, 1979, Eric Gairy left Grenada to a nice Californian golf resort, as he ordered the Mongoose Gang to round up all the leaders of the NJW and execute them. The NJW in response rose up and took control of the whole country. And Maurice Bishop, in an almost bloodless coup with 2 people dead, took control of the country, becoming the sole leader of the island.
We had received information on the Saturday before the Tuesday that the intention of the government was to search us and detain us. We decided to go underground. While we were underground, more information came to us on the Monday morning that the plan was that Gairy was going to flee the country, leaving orders to have our leadership killed.
Even the person who killed Maurice's dad, Rupert, wasn't executed. By the way, I cannot figure out who those 3 people are. I feel like it was just someone fell down a flight of stairs and killed 2 guys at the bottom, and that was like the deaths. No idea. Could not figure out. The media after this put out by the new government just as 2 people were dead and nothing else. The revolution was widely supported by the people, and to be honest, what I could tell, you could put a knowing Irish in charge other than Gary and he would be more liked at the time. This became known as the Revo, which is kinda nice because I always hear it in an Australian accent. Fucking Revo, mate. Where was Eric Gairy during all of this? Well, he was still in California, in that golf resort, and he even did a press conference where he was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna take back the island and they're gonna be dead one way or another.
People have tried to get rid of me, and I don't think they can make it. Lots of them who have tried are lying in the cemetery.
How did they die, Prime Minister?
How are they doing?
How did they die?
Natural causes.
In the middle of this, you had Paul Scoon, the Governor General who still had his position after all this. And if you don't know what a Governor General is, it is the Queen's, or I guess now the King's, representation in the land it is in. So, if you have the Governor General, you acknowledge that the Queen is the real ruler of the land you are in, and also is the true head of state, which in this case was a communist state. So the Queen was now in charge of a communist state.
Hey guys, thank you very much for watching. This was meant to be a normal video that was around 16 minutes long, but because I moved whole ass countries, it's now becoming a 3-parter. This does the lead up, the second part will do the Revo, and the third part will be the aftermath / decline. And yeah, that should be it. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and please comment down that it's actually pronounced Grenada instead of Grenada. Yes, I do know. Or maybe it's both. Maybe it's neither. I have actually no idea. Every time I look it up, it's a different way of saying it. So, Winton.